the three arms of government need to operate and work independently. That is number 2. I think the fourth arm of government is no longer with us, the Raila Amolo Odinga. Number 3. My point number 3. There's one thing that you touched about on criticism. We in our generation, we need to be very objective on how we are going to criticize the government of the day. We don't need to be emotional and momentaneous, that this the thing that's on the table that we criticize it. Can we be objective and as well offer alternative on how we think we need things to be done? We don't need just to offer criticism without offering an alternative, as she was putting it. So that may appear that we are ignorant, but we are not ignorant. We just need to have objective criticism. And then lastly, I think as moving forward, Brian here is the chair for UDA Young Congress. We will have to sit down, we as young people, and see how we can condense the information from the government website and other avenues. At some point again, there are those who may lack the access. Not all young people are having the online access. In as much that we want to say that they're having that.
Is them copper?
65%.
Yeah. Is them copper phones, my friend?
No, leave alone them copper phone. You may have them copper phone, it's not paid. You may have them copper phone, you're not able to buy data.
Internet access.
We also have areas that are having low data access. Not all areas you are in Nairobi, adventure that you are in Nairobi. We say you are a privileged youth. Another youth in Turkana, in Moyale may not be in the same position.
The majority.
You get. Lastly, on the young people and objectivity, I think we, the young leaders here, we don't need to lament as the rest of us. There are those who are looking up for us. Brian, Mwangi, and my sister here, Winfred. We are going to move forward, offer that civic education that Fred.
There were opportunities. Winfred, allow me. There were opportunities, and we saw even the use of social media to educate other Kenyans on even the provisions of the finance bill last year. These are things that can be done for free. How come, was it Jared suggesting that even the Gen Zs, as far as civic education is concerned, the same social media can be used? How come you're not taking those opportunities?
You know, Fred, like I said earlier or before, one thing about processes, they do take time. And it is not a one-day eventuality. And even in matters of planning and strategy, you must also plan about risk. And some of the risk that you can see here today is, as they're saying, it's bullying, inconstructive suggestions or comments. It is malignment, and you know, Fred, all this is cut in one cloth called politics, because at the end of the day, we are looking at it, how does it fit the political narrative for tomorrow? Because one thing I can clearly foresee is the young people, as Jared was saying, will change the conversation of the politics of the day through the social media. And we have seen it in urban, in first world countries rather, like US, Germany, Britain, and they have been a place to shape government. Now, what we are looking at is how do we now move forward to solidify the judiciary? Yesterday I was watching CNN News, and I saw former president for France, President Nicolas Sarkozy. He was being taken to prison to serve a 5-year term of corruption. That is where we need to be as a country, that in as much as there is misuse of cyber crime rule, which is largely targeted to the young people, how about we also strengthen elements of corruption, how leaders also can become accountable? Because all this we are talking about is about accountability, that how do we make this country have the accountability face, Fred?
Brian, one of the biggest problems last year, according to the younger Kenyans, was parliamentary processes. What we are talking about here, even the legislative process, that many Kenyans, especially the younger generation, felt that members of parliament do not represent them, do not listen to them. They simply pass laws that do not work for them. Do you think that that could be part of the problem, that Kenyans are not really interested in taking part, despite the fact that there are provisions for taking part in the legislative process through public participation? Do you think that younger Kenyans are feeling, that's not my process?
I want to say this again. When you look into keenly on the last financial bill, which was dropped by our president, that bill was one of the best bill ever. That in the coming 3 years, if it was implemented, at the moment we could have a balanced budget. And that was the good for development of this country. Vis-a-vis the fact that people tried to say drop finance bill, the demonstration was there, the Ruto must go, and other things that came with that. But I think the most important thing that the young people feel and they made to have this an outrage was because the members of parliament didn't take part in their places where they were elected to sensitize these young people on the importance of this bill. And I think that is very, a provision law, public participation is very instrumental to ensure that whatever that come in place, the public understand what it contains. So I think that is a very important process, and it should never be avoided. But also as the young people and anyone, anytime we see the bill, if the National Assembly, the Senate, invite the public for their views, we must participate, either digitally, physically, and all those town halls, residential that they have put in place to ensure that we participate and be parcel of this legislative process. So I think it's our time, as the young people, we take keen interest to these institutions that are the guiding to ensure that we have good governance in this country.
Right.
And that would be very important.
Let's talk some politics now as we come to the end of our